Earlier today, President Moon Jae-in addressed the National Assembly, calling for support in getting next year's budget passed, as well as continuing dialogue to achieve peace on the Korean Peninsula. And for more on this, we connect live to our presidential office correspondent Shin Se-min at the top office. So Se-min, the president focused on many topics, but what stood out the most?
A lot to digest here in that half-an-hour speech from the president, but the gist of that, getting that mega budget for next year passed through the parliament so that the government can continue on with its expansionary fiscal budget. It was the president's fourth speech at the National Assembly since taking office 3 years ago, and much of the focus of today's speech was focused on getting and creating a nation that's fair for all. And President Moon called for all sides of the political aisle to support the government-drawn budget for next year worth $440 billion, a 9.3% increase on a year. One of the major points he brought up during his speech today, creating a fair nation through stronger reform measures.
경제뿐 아니라 사회, 교육, 문화 전반에서 공정이 새롭게 구축되어야 합니다. 국민의 요구를 깊이 받들어 공정을 위한 개혁을 더욱 강력히 추진하겠습니다.
And this is contrary to the president's previous message when he called on his administration to create a fair and just economy. This time, he also asked other parts of society to carry that fairness. And such a call perhaps closely linked to the recent social rifts over his pick for the now resigned justice minister who was faced with heavy criticism over reported privileges and alleged irregularities involving his family members. And President Moon's ultimate message, unchanged, that his administration will use the remainder of its term to create an innovative, embracive, fair nation where all people can prosper. And all of that through executing the state budget at the right time. So again, calling for all political circles to support the government-drawn budget for next year. Ji-yoon?
Now, what about the Korea peace process? I mean, what did the president talk about in this regard, especially in regards to North Korea?
He did call on North Korea to respond. This is a critical point where we can construe that both the Koreas had not been in direct contact in the past couple weeks or perhaps months. And the president also referring to what many consider as a deadlock in the denuclearization process, with both North Korea and the U.S. not showing a visible contact in recent weeks or months. That the president says that the relevant parties of the denuclearization talks is in fact facing a critical moment. Listen to this.
한반도는 지금 항구적 평화로 가기 위한 마지막 고비를 마주하고 있습니다. 우리가 함께 넘어야 할 비핵화의 벽입니다. 대화만이 그 벽을 무너뜨릴 수 있습니다.
He added that the nation and the relevant parties of the nuclear talks must do all they can for peace through dialogue. And this is where the president is perhaps sending a message to both leaders Kim Jong-un and President Donald Trump to drive up the speed in the denuclearization talks. And mind you, they haven't had a face-to-face talk since February this year. And moving forward, the president said North Korea's bright future can only be possible on the foundation of a virtuous circle of peace and economic cooperation, and also again called on Pyongyang for its response. Ji-yoon?